welcome to another episode of the NSA Houston Podcast. I'm your host, Megan Billnoske, president for this year. And as you know, our motto this year is all about Together We Rise. Well, because we can't do success by ourselves. It is a lot of collaboration efforts. And so we are moving through Texas today to bring you presidents of other National Speakers Association chapters to really share how are we working together to provide you value around Texas and beyond. So I'm going to first toss it over to Trevor Perry, and then we'll talk to Courtney Ramsey. Trevor, if you wouldn't mind, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are.
So I'm an Australian of Irish heritage who used to fake an English accent in Texas at a Renaissance festival doing street theater. That's my standard. Ultimately, I've been a computer weenie for over 40 years, and I'm a keynote speaker, and I teach workshops and coaching on storytelling, slide craft, and stagecraft, which I call speaker craft. And I get most joy out of standing in front of a crowd and being a bit of a silly nutcase. And entertaining and inspiring.
Yeah. Well, I know you're a podcast. Isn't your photo on LinkedIn has orange glasses on as well?
Yeah. And it's funny because I have those on. And the problem is that they're just readers, and then I can't see you guys because you're far enough away. So, but yeah, we did a bunch of glasses, and I have glasses with a Milky Way on them and a whole bunch of silly props and stuff like that. So yeah, we have fun in my sessions, but I always work, my vision and my mission is to make a difference in the world that is my sphere of influence by guiding people to make a difference in their world, however, whatever I'm teaching. So I call it personal transformation.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I think that's what we share in common in the speaker helping world is we have a message to share, and that's our goal, is to make the world impact. Courtney, I know you've been over there listening to Trevor. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Oh, thank you, Megan. Hi, everyone. My name is Courtney Ramsey, and I help new and emerging leaders quit hitting snooze on the things that are really important to being a leader. And those two things are primarily communication and relationship building as a leader, because when you're an amazing individual contributor, you're used to doing everything on your own. But when you shift into a leadership role, that is no longer possible.
Yep.
And the three of us can attribute to it is no longer possible, no matter how good you are. I'm based in the Dallas area, and my history is primarily in corporate learning and development. So that's my history, working for companies like JCPenney and Zale Corporation, which is all those jewelers you would find in the mall. Now they're part of Signet. But I love helping new leaders get the skills they need to be successful, because in my experience, that's just not something that a lot of leaders are lucky enough to have done before they get promoted. And that's a really hard shift.
Very well said. Yeah, because working at any level, usually corporations say, now that you're a manager, here's your training. And by then it could have been helpful before.
It's almost too late. And it's not impossible, but man, it just makes it so much harder. So we try to give you at least the clarity you would need. Even if you're getting the training right when you become a leader, at least we can help you prioritize the things you really need to focus on first.
Absolutely. Well, for those of you listening, Courtney and Trevor and I met last year at the Chapter Leader Institute for the President-elects for National Speakers Association. All of the PEs meet every November and go through a workshop to be prepared to be president. So I remember we had some brainstorming sessions. I remember taking a Texas photo where all the chapters for NSA in Texas. And so if you wouldn't mind, share a little bit about your organizations, because part of our mission of Together We Rise, people need to know about NSA North Texas for you, Courtney, and Trevor for NSA Austin. So let's go in the reverse order, keep it kind of balanced. So Courtney, let us know a little bit about NSA North Texas and how we can get involved or follow.
Awesome. Well, it's just like it sounds. It's NSA North Texas. So think of the DFW area, but also think about all the surrounding areas that either your chapter in Houston or Trevor's chapter down in Austin would not cover. We even have people up in Oklahoma and Arkansas. And because we're also have a virtual membership, we have people around the country and even a few international members as well. So we are, like you mentioned, the National Speakers Association local chapter for North Texas, which means we're interested in helping professional speakers or aspiring professional speakers, or those in the professional speaking world, sometimes it could be a vendor too, get more incorporated and plugged into the speaker world. as well as helping them become better speakers and build a better speaking business. And I say speaking really loosely. It could be podcasting. It could be doing what we do, which is typically conferences and workshops and being on stages. It could be a newscasting. We actually have someone who's on the news in our chapter. So it could be a variety of things, but that's our really two big focuses, is helping people become better at the craft of speaking and build a better business.
And your chapter is really active on Instagram. I follow them with the events. Y'all had an award ceremony or a gala, however you want to say it. Yeah, it was beautiful. So definitely easy to follow and see what North Texas is doing. You'll also do quotes. I follow quotes also for what you're posting, just kind of a pulse on the industry.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, we definitely have a good social media presence, thanks to a lot of people helping us contribute to that. And just a lot of great members too. We're privileged enough to be an elite chapter through the national organization, which it says a lot about the caliber of our membership.
Yeah, it does. North Texas is is that elite mean the largest? Is that how national rates that?
It's sort to a degree, but really it's more around the metrics of your growth and some of the programs you have in place and things like that.
Okay, gotcha. Well, Trevor, why don't you share us a little bit about Austin? I know that's a big part of, well, our triad in Texas.
Yep. So if you go north, as far north as Waco, as far south as San Antonio, we have members from there. We don't go close to Houston because it's a desert between here and Houston. But we at our board retreat earlier in the year, we said we would like to attract professional and aspiring or established and aspiring professional speakers. And that covers everything, as you said, Courtney. I mean, it also covers coaches, and we have comedians, and we have storytellers. And our marketing strategist this year looked at LinkedIn and said everybody in Austin who says speaker in their profile, and there's 470 people. We don't have that many people. We know some of those people are, that's what I do, but don't have a family to belong to. And in Austin, the community is really built of a lot of different families. When I was here 25 years ago, I was involved in the writing community and the poetry community and the film acting and the improv community. And I come back, I've been here 5 years now, and we have all those communities. And I'm now involved heavily in the storytelling community. And we find speakers everywhere. And we're trying to bring them all together, that this is the organization that supports you in you making a living as a speaker. Or if this is your profession as a speaker. Some people do it because they have some other source of income, but they do it for whatever reason, charity or the joy or however it is. But we have a lot of professional speakers, and we just had our Christmas party last Saturday, and it was a small group of people, but it was energetic. And, as you know, speakers like to speak. So there wasn't a lot of listening going on, but we shared a lot amongst all of the people. And my idea for this year, for our presidential year, was to really make NSA Austin grow in its reach to the community, in its diversity. And we're starting to do that. We're starting to get that, but it's a long process. And you've got to have awareness out in the community. And that's difficult because there's so many competing things happening. Just storytelling, for example, there is something on 2 or 3 every single week. And being involved in that, we're running our last story standing competition at an event that runs regular storytelling. So we're going to bring the storytelling community to us and show them that we have something to offer them as well, and bring more people into the family. So when I was here 25 years ago, there was a Keep Austin Weird motto, and it was true. I come back 20 years later, and it's not quite as true, but the weird's there, and there's a different kind of weird. There's diversity, and there's the disabled community. There's a huge deaf and blind community, and there's speakers in that. There's a huge people of color. There's huge mental health. There's disabilities. There's, LGBTQ. And there's a bunch of techies. And all of this makes up the weirdness that Austin is today. And my thought was that we could make NSA Austin represent the current weird of Austin. And we're doing it. We're reaching out to all of those diverse people. And it's wonderful to see who comes and their contribution and the energy. It's really quite amazing. So it's happening. We're focusing on engagement from now on for the next 6 months. And we'll see how that goes. But we have a few people who sneak over to Houston for regular monthly The Moth storytelling events. And we're trying to make sure that we get everybody connected. It's difficult. 3 hours to drive north, 3 hours to drive east is just beyond what most people want to do. And a lot of people are traveling. But we are trying to make sure that our Texas Alliance really has value and benefit. And I know a lot of our members attend some of your Zoom meetings, some of your hybrid meetings. So that helps us too. It gets a lot of value for our members. So.
Yeah, it sounds like you already have the Together We Rise going on for Austin, and then we're working together. I'm glad you mentioned Texas Alliance, which is where I want to take us next. All about working together. I know we have something that's been in place for a while, but I'd like to shine a light on it some more because you and I both know professional organizations to join cost a good amount, right? So you always want to know, what's the value I'm getting out of this? Am I getting what I need? And so with a wide variety of people, like you've both mentioned in our groups, we have to be versatile in what we offer. So Courtney, how can we work together as NSA chapters in Texas to be able to offer that value to people, regardless of where they live?
Awesome, Megan. Yeah, I love that you mentioned Texas Alliance, because up until a couple of years ago, none of us really realized this existed, even though I think it has existed for quite some time now. What Texas Alliance essentially means is whether you're a member of Austin, North Texas, or Houston, you are paying dues to that specific chapter, and yet you have access to a lot of the programming and events that the other two chapters also have. So for example, if I pay dues to North Texas, I can still attend some Austin or Houston events, in many cases completely for free. That's thanks to a lot of times we do virtual and hybrid events where there's no additional cost for us to have you stream in with us. Now, if you were to join us live, or if it was a special event where even the members of that chapter had to pay, of course, there's going to be a cost involved. And yet still the good news is oftentimes we're able to offer that to that other member at the membership price. So all in all, even though you're not technically a member of, let's say, the Houston chapter, you can participate as if you are a Houston member, thanks to the Houston and the Texas and the North Texas Alliance. So I love it. I really think most of our people should be taking bigger advantage of it. At the same time, we are all busy people, and there is only so much time in the day and the week and the month we have. And I know from a North Texas point of view, we have at least 3 events per month in most cases. So even if you just did all those events, your schedule is kind of maxed out. But at least this gives you greater variety, and it gives you much more value for the money you're paying.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's definitely something, especially in our virtual world, right? 2020, the blessing that came out of that was virtual became normal. And so now you don't even have to leave your home, and you can be anywhere around the world. Like, we had a mastermind group on Tuesday nights. We do monthly masterminds, and we had someone join from Colombia. Oh my gosh, I sat there enthralled. I was like, oh, we just went international? This is amazing, because of virtual. And so the Texas Alliance is just another example. Trevor, any other thoughts? I know we've all been part of the Alliance, but anything else that you think we should share about how people can get value out of their membership?
Yeah, the topics that we have rarely overlap within about a 6-month period. And so having available much more, topic content is incredible. And that's where the Texas Alliance really helps each of our individual members, because now they have access to stuff that they might not have got to see for a while. I don't know the Texas Alliance allows you to have access to our vault, for example, but you can get access to the event as it's happening. And, for hybrid events, which we all run now, that's huge value. And to be able to attend it as though you were a member of our chapter, and yet you're not, that's huge value as well. We're also working on local partnerships, and I know, Megan, you have a lot of those, but it's the Texas Alliance that really gets the best value out of all of those groups. We charge the member rates or the member free, and that's really good value. So yeah, we get a lot of value out of it. I know our members do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I can speak on behalf of all three of us that we want our members to succeed and we want there to be a camaraderie of supporting the chapter. We talk often about, the president supports the board supports the chapter supports the city. So it's very important for, as we're leading in our cities, wherever we are, how are we doing that? And how do we think bigger about connecting for that Together We Rise? Now, my last question is something kind of fun. I'd like to ask, what is a secret talent that you have? Maybe a hobby, something that maybe not many people know, but just to kind of get to know you on a personal level before we wrap up today. And I tell everyone to follow you or wherever social media platforms you are. So I think Courtney went first last time, so we'll go with Trevor. What's a secret talent you have, my friend?
I got recently involved, well, it was a couple of years ago now, with SpeakerFlow. And the two guys from SpeakerFlow read my entire website, and then they both mentioned, I understand you roast your own coffee beans. And I hadn't done it in a while, but before I went to Influence 2 years ago, I roasted them a bunch of coffee beans and took it to them and a grinder and, and a French press, and they had fresh roasted coffee. And they were blown away. So when I did it this year again, they just said, we didn't expect it every year. But that's a really weird thing. I don't think it's a talent as much as, I can find how to do that on YouTube, but it's something that as a coffee aficionado, that's a lot of fun to be able to roast your own coffee beans. And I can tell you this, freshly roasted coffee beans, freshly ground, the best coffee you'll ever have.
Very cool. I have never known anybody that can do that. Courtney, do you?
No. I can barely grind up the beans you buy at the store and do that. That's trouble for me. Really. So
I do Keurig. Put it in, I'm done.
I know, right? Keurig, me too. That's really what I do, honestly. The next time
I'll bring some next time.
Okay, deal. Y'all don't want to see me on caffeine though. I'd be scary, I think. This is me normal.
Oh gosh. I wish.
Courtney, what's your secret talent?
Okay, this is a funny one, but the last couple of years I started thrifting. Thrift stop. Like, I love to thrift, y'all. The problem is it's not just a talent, it's like it's a compulsion and almost probably an illness at this point. I like it for two reasons. First of all, I love the feeling I get by zoning out. So for example, when I'm in Austin or Houston and I do like an event or something, I will go to a thrift store after the event and just shop, and it's how I decompress. And there's something about it. It's always fantastic because it just helps you relax. And then I also love that feeling of shopping for that hidden gem, diamond in the rough. You didn't expect to find it kind of thing. My two favorite things to shop for at thrift stores are anything leather, like genuine leather, which I can find something almost every time I go that's genuine leather, and cashmere sweaters. I can find almost a cashmere sweater every time I go. It's amazing.
Wow. I could definitely understand the decompression because your mind gets into, where did this come from? Wonder what this could be made into. And it costs $2.
And it costs $2. So it's funny too, because it changes the way you look at money. Because like I can find a cashmere sweater at a Goodwill for $8. I'm like, well, I don't want to go spend this, $8 on a value meal at McDonald's. I can have a cashmere sweater,
Yeah, totally. This jacket is actually from a resale store and I got it for $6, and then I get it tailored to fit because I'm so long. And then I look at clothes in the mall just like you. I'm like, that costs like $6.
Like, no,
not 60.
And Megan, we don't get to see all of your podcasts, so we'd like to know your secret.
Sure. Okay. So I will tell you the one that Jared Morgan from ACMP, the Change Management Group, he was the first one to ask me back. So, or that question. So I actually can change my tires and or rotate my tires and change my own oil. Yeah. So if you have a flat on the side of the road, I change flats. It was a rule before I could get my keys to my car. My dad said, you're going to learn how to do this. And of course, 16-year-old teenage girl, ew, I don't want to do this. This is not fun. But I'll tell you, it saved me several times in college. I can pull over and I can jump start a car with my little battery pack. So although I don't really like it, when you need it, it's very helpful. So I feel like that's a lost art.
Yes, very cool.
Good for you. Independent girl, that's right.
Independent, that's right. That's the way I was raised. One of my favorite stories of I took my car in to get an oil change in college because you couldn't do it in the dorm parking lot. Like they don't like that. Spillage is not that great. So I took it in, and obviously I get out. Obviously, no, I always get out of the car and I watch them do it because I would talk to them and not be invasive. But there was one that was changing out the filter, and he took the green ring, the rubber ring around the top of it off. I said, "Whoa, sir, that's a lifetime warranty. I need you to put that back." He just looked at me like, "Screw it back on because it's not coming off of this car." Yes, I know what I'm talking about. I'm watching you. Don't strip my nut down there too because it'll drip oil and I'm coming back for my engine. So anyway,
It's a
just
double check. You actually can. You can.
yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's because cars are so expensive, and I don't know. My family, we have them for years. We don't rotate them through, so they've got to last. And you probably know me by now, but I don't like being taken advantage of either. I want to know and learn, then I can be like adequate and like understanding. So anyway, it works well. But so if we're ever in Austin or North Texas and you need, or Houston, need some help, give me a call. I will bring on my little pack up there with you. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time and your friendship. I'll just say in general, from the time we met in CLI, taking that Texas photo to now, and what we're going through as presidents as we lead our teams to make an impact in Houston, to Austin and North Texas. I can't say enough. I'm so honored to have you in my life, and a privilege of us being on this journey together. So thanks for joining the podcast. Thank you for sharing. And to those of us listening, please follow Courtney Ramsey on LinkedIn, social media, Facebook. We'll be posting all of her links. Follow North Texas NSA. They're doing a lot of great things. Follow Trevor Perry and his business, and also their chapter in Austin. There's so much to get connected in because together we rise. There's connections that we can provide and help you, and that's what we're here for. So tune in next time where we'll have another president talking about how we work together, bring you value, and really make an impact, because that's what we're here for.